morning, good afternoon, and good evening, every one of you watching us live from all those social media, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, wherever. We are live right now, again, with another of our exciting shows, Confessions of Young African Internet Millionaires, where we are bringing you some of our best young ones who are doing their best work right now all over the world as a means of encouraging you at home that it can be better, that there are opportunities out there for you, if only you know where to look. And today we have one of those boys that you have been hearing me talk about for the last few days, who just came on and decided they saw, and they have conquered, and they themselves are helping other people to conquer. Today we are going to be featuring the founder CEO of the co-founder and CEO of Masketa. That's Mr. Morrison, who is a top 1% vendor on a place called JVZoo. You have to understand, JVZoo has over 1 million people. And we have some of these Nigerian young boys who have been able to work their way into the top 1%. Even me, that they call the grandfather of internet marketing now, I'm not even in the top 1% anymore. I think I'm in the top 10% or so, because I've not been there for a while. So many Nigerians, young boys, some of them, you've never heard of them. They've been able to work their way through hard work to this side where they're now in the top 1% of people doing great things on that marketplace. We're going to talk more about that later. Is a multiple six-figure product launcher. Because you hear these figures, you think they are just jokes. Nigerians are doing it. They are doing it over and over again. Mr. MISAN that we're going to be talking about with today has been 7 years in this game, and has been doing progressive development and growth in the area of affiliate marketing, customer acquisition, sales funnel creation, email marketing, and of course, copywriting. And we're going to be unpacking all of that. My prayer again and my hope is that at the end of this live event, you will have learned one or two things that can help you to go to the next level. Mr. MISAN has been executing strategies in SaaS, software as a service, which is my own strong point. And that's why I created that coaching program to help you and those of like you out there who may want to go into software production to be able to get it going. That's why I'm bringing some of my guys who have been successful in this area. Believe it or not, in his 5-year span, Mr. Morrison has grossed over $5 million, over $2 million in revenue, just gross revenue alone as a software creator and launcher. So I'm happy to introduce to you tonight, Mr. MISAN Morrison. MISAN, how are you?
Thank you for that. I'm doing very well. Thank you for that warm introduction.
Right.
Truly, I'm happy and excited to be here. And I'd love to share my experiences with everyone who is listening. Because I still remember myself 7 years ago when I got started in the digital marketing space. I knew how I struggled, to break into the market. So I'm happy to always share my experiences and my journey with everyone who is willing to listen and take action.
Awesome. Awesome. In fact, that was going to be my first question, so you can continue from where I just cut you in now.
Okay.
So you're going to tell us about a bit about your journey so far in digital business, how many products you have created, what kind of impact you have been able to create for yourself and in this space, because I want them to understand whoever this gentleman they are looking at is not just one of those guys. He's been there, done that. Break it down for them just in a few minutes. Your
okay.
Today. Go ahead.
Okay, my journey as a digital marketing started right from when I was in high school. Somehow I got interested in starting up a business before I even graduated and got a certificate. So since there, I started dabbling into blogging, freelancing. I sold ebooks and all. So I think I got my first success, my first $1,000 days from affiliate marketing. So back then in 2015, yeah, I was doing very well with Facebook adverts, sending Facebook traffic to CPA offers. Then there was this network, but I don't think it's in existence now, called ClickShare. So I used to send traffic and I was making around $500 to $1,000 every month. So I was still in college then at that point. So I was living life. I was comfortable. So luckily for me, I met one of our Nigerian brother who was doing very well in the international space by the name Precious Ungu. So Precious, I was lucky to meet Precious, and he told me, "Okay, you've been able to do all this for yourself. How about I show you how to, take your idea and turn it into a software and break into the digital marketing space?" So Precious was willing at that point to help me document my first software idea from whatever I knew from Facebook and CPA.
Wow.
So that
Wow.
is how my journey got started, basically. So my what I would say to everyone out there is whatever you are learning, whatever stage you are currently, whatever you are doing, whether it's SEO, whether it's Facebook ads, whether it's content writing, whether it's graphic design, those skills are going to pay off in the long run,
Mm.
okay? Because this helps you to build the foundation for whatever you're going to do in the future. So literally my experience as Facebook and an affiliate marketer just earning some change helped me to break into the JVZoo marketplace with a software. And thank God, my first software launch did over $250,000 in 7 days when I
Wow.
launched it.
Guys,
So since then,
go ahead, sorry.
so since then, it's well, the rest has been history. I've I've done multiple six-figure launches. I can't even count now because I've been launching since 2016. I became a solo vendor. I started launching my products from 2019. And personally, I've grown to seven figures annual revenue. And today I'm one of the top 1% vendor and also a top 1% affiliate on the JVZoo marketplace.
Wow.
And literally, I'm living a comfortable life.
Wow,
And
wow, wow. I can see with your beard, man. 1%. Oh my God. Guys,
yeah,
the reason why I wanted him to do that is not to boast or to cap, but for you to understand that there are those who talk it and there are those who are doing it before they talk it. I wanted you to
yeah,
get a glimpse of him. Mr. Morrison is a highly respected Nigerian, contrary to what you think people think about Nigerians abroad. When you call JVZoo, is one of those respected Nigerians that people listen to, who's been there, done that, doing seven figures, and he's talking dollars, guys. He's not talking naira, just in case, and you don't even know him. See, that's what I'm trying to make you guys understand on this show, that lots of young Nigerians who are killing it very quietly, contrary to a lot of noisemakers out there who have not even done $100,000 in sales in the whole year. All right, we are going to be unpacking MISAN tonight. Thank you again so much for coming. So tell me a bit, what exactly did you study in the university and how did you end up in digital business?
okay. I studied physics. I was a science student. But like I mentioned earlier, I had a passion for being an entrepreneur right from high school. So basically, I was studying personally business magazines. I was always reading business magazines and using the internet to gain knowledge on different aspects and of digital marketing, creating my skill and being a copywriter myself. I learned all this myself. So basically, while I was basically in Nigeria, we have to all go to school to gain the respect. But personally, I invested in personal growth. I didn't have to wait for myself for anyone to teach me about entrepreneurship in school. So the information we all need is on the internet. And by buying books and magazines, I was able to educate myself. So immediately I graduated from the university. Uh, this was my passion. Entrepreneurship and digital marketing was my passion. So I just quickly transitioned into digital marketing.
All right. Guys, that is for those of you at home watching this. It doesn't matter what you study. Okay. You can
Yeah.
transition into digital business and even do much better than what you will have done with your degree, because so many of you out there are discouraged. You have this degree, there's no job, and maybe there's no market for you, and you're thinking you just wasted your education. No, it's not wasted. You can transition just like MISAN has successfully done. Thank you so much. That's the lesson from that. Remember, in this show, we are always learning, guys. I hope you have your notes out today, because Mr. MISAN is going to be throwing down a lot of stuff, and it may just change your life. All right, let's keep moving on. So right now, what do you consider yourself, your specialty? What niche are you specialized in? Do you have one, or you just do it all?
Well, basically, I would say I'm niched in the digital marketing, helping business owners with software solutions.
Okay.
So
So software area.
that's been my yes, yeah. I focus on releasing, creating, and marketing software solutions. I have studied to help businesses. Okay, so I study the market and I release and create softwares that I know would help businesses in making more money or saving on their expenses.
Interesting. The reason why I ask that is that most times people, when they start in digital business, when we start, including myself,
Yeah.
all this stuff you could do, juggle all over the place. Eventually, you narrow down. So, can you tell us some of
Yeah.
the niches that you have tried before you finally settled on helping businesses with software?
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So I've tried network marketing. Okay. Like I said, whatever you're into right now can actually be a good foundation into, what is going to break you into a global market. So I was once a network marketing in the local Nigerian markets. I've helped to sell a couple of products locally. I've also sold ebooks in the Nigerian market. I've also been a freelancer. I developed my copywriting skills and I used to write for a few clients. But, all these skills helped me to break into the digital marketing, international market space, selling softwares. So right now, I do not do all of that. I have a team right now that helps me manage all of that. But starting out, I had to learn the skills myself. Like I had to study, I had to buy books, I had to spend late nights, going on YouTube to build my skills. So literally, yeah.
All right. What we want to pull out here is when you are doing so many other different niches together versus when you are focused on one now. What do you think is better? What has been the experience between those two? What has been the differences in experience from doing different types of niches versus just focusing on one where you're developing and working with people on software?
Okay. Actually, the difference is the results from each of these niches. Okay, so I wouldn't try to bring down any business model because I make everyone want to focus on selling softwares. Okay, it depends on what works for you. I know people who are really crushing it in the network marketing industry. I know people who are just crushing it as freelancers, as agencies. Okay. So the idea is whatever gives you that big results, stick to it and continue doing that thing over time, and you'll be the best in that niche.
Okay. Actually, the way I'm getting at is it's not even about whether software is better than network marketing.
Yeah.
I was African network marketing leader for a product. What I'm getting
Yes.
at is that a lot of people, at least this is my, as a coach myself, this is what I've observed, that a lot of people are not making it because they are doing so many niches together as opposed to getting success in one before opening up another one. And that's what I'm talking about. Why did you feel that you are grinding when you are doing so many of them together versus when you focus on one first and the other? That's what
okay, for me personally, this is how it works for me. I always focus on one thing. Okay, I always put in all my eggs into one thing and I give it about 6 months. Okay, I put it on my best. And if I don't get results, the tangible results, okay, because I usually set goals into every niche or business model I'm going into. I always set a target. Okay, it's 6 months to 12 months. This is how much I want to pull out of this. And I focus all on it. So I didn't just dabble into all these things at once. I focus. Okay, so the thing is, when I decided to focus on softwares, like selling softwares and launch it, I took 1 year out and I said, okay, this is what I want to do for this year. And it paid off at the end of the day. Okay, I didn't dabble much. So the point of the whole idea is focus, because when you try to do too many things at the same time, you end up just getting little results and progressing, in little paces on each of these businesses, and you don't really progress much. So it's best you put all your efforts into for pushing one business model, ensuring it pays out for you, set yourself, set targets, set goals. And if at the end of the tunnel, you don't get the desired result, then it's advisable to look into something else and push for it.
Also, I'm glad. In fact, that is exactly where I was going, and I'm glad that you knocked that out of the park. And by the way, my guests don't see my questions. They don't even know what I'm going to ask them, but they are successful in their business, so they don't have to worry whether they can answer my question. The reason why I asked that question is because for me, it is number one point of failure for many people. They try to dabble into so many things together, as opposed to giving each one enough time to either make it or not make it. It's not every businesses that we work. So if you are watching out there, as you can see, it's one of my own faults. When I started, that's why what I put in the confessions of a group wannabe. Me, I love confessions a lot. I learn from other people's confession. I was trying to do like 3 or 4 niches together, thinking because I have the money, I have the intelligence, I have the staff, I can make it happen. It didn't happen. I was making money here and losing it here, and none was satisfactory until I focused. And like Mr. just said, he hit it right on the money. The formula is very simple, guys. If you're out there, when you pick a niche, you got to tell yourself, I'm not going to look right or left for minimum 6 months to 1 year. You heard him say it. And that's what I've been saying. If you guys have been following me for days now, 6 months to 1 year, focus exclusively. It's either it's going to work or not. Most times, you will hit breakthrough before that 1 year is over. And if you don't, now you can consider a different niche. I hope you are listening to that. You are not that smart, guys. Those of you looking at me from home, you are not that smart to think you can run 3 niches simultaneously when you have never made any money. You're never going to make one. So thank you so much. It gives me an opportunity to teach them about that. All right. So this software thing, obviously, you have mastered it. I am a living witness. I've even done some business with you. I've seen you do 6-figure launches almost like clockwork. 6 figures, by the way, is in dollars. That means over $100,000. For those of you watching,
over 100,000.
It is not easy to do. I can tell you guys. So when you have someone who's done it 1 time, 2 times, or 3 times, obviously he knows what he's doing. So what I want you to do in a snapshot level, can you walk us through the process to get started in creating software? Because a lot of people think it's such a big deal. In fact, that's why I started a coaching program about helping people who want to get started in software. Walk us through the process. What does it take to get started in software? What is the process of creating a software from the layman's point of view, not the tech guys? Go.
Okay, this is a very, very interesting question. Okay, because I'll use myself as an example. When I started, when I got into the software industry, I was not a developer. I had no programming skills, no coding experience. All I just had was basic marketing experience, running Facebook ads like most people. Some people know how to use YouTube, some people know how to use SEO. And when you have such experience, I always tell people that is where you should look out for creating your software. Like whatever you know, I believe if you're watching this video, you've actually studied a little bit of some online marketing tactics, and you've actually tried 1 or 2 things that have generated you results. If you've been able to do something manually and you've been able to generate results from that particular method manually, the truth is you can actually create a software out of it. Just look at whatever method. If you say, okay, this is what it takes to launch a Facebook ad, for example, you need graphics, you need a landing page. You can create a software that does graphics. You could create a software that focuses on the landing page, for example, or you could combine them together and say, okay, I want a software that will create a graphics, I want a landing page, and also to export the whole campaign to Facebook. This is how I was able to create my first software launch, which was called Smart Ads Builder at that point. Okay. And this software, it was basically out of my experience. I didn't have to go copy other person's software. I didn't have to go. A lot of people try to come into the software industry by copying what is already in the market. I always feel that is always a starting point for failure, because whatever has given you results, that is what you should, create a software house. Then if you're looking for features to beef up your software, then you can now go out there, do researches and add features into your software. So a starting point is have a basic experience about marketing, know what you're doing, then try to break down whatever steps you know how to, okay, I know how to do this. This is step one, step two, step three. Then try to speak to a developer and try to understand and look for a developer and speak to that and let the developer understand that this is what I want, that I know how to do. I want the software to do this. Let the developer tell you which part of this step can be automated. Because sometimes you might have an idea, but technical wise, it cannot be done. So you have to sit down with the developer and the developer will pick out what can be done from your idea, from your manual process. And whatever the developer tells you, then you go out there and look for features and make your software stand out, okay? Because there's so many softwares in the market, there's so many features for you to research on. So, but the basis of creating a software should start from your idea.
Interesting. So, yeah, basically, and you don't need to have the technical skills to make it happen.
Yeah, you don't have to do. All you just have to do is partner with a developer. If you cannot afford a developer, partner with one.
Okay, that's where I was going. That what kind of money would somebody need to get started in this niche?
Like for me, when I started, all I did was partner with the developer. There are a lot of developers that are hungry. They are talented, they are hungry, and they just need a breakthrough. So if you're starting out with a shoestring budget, you could partner with one. But if you have some money saved up and you're ready to invest and take all the profit for yourself, you should budget $5,000 to $10,000. So that should be around 3 to 7 million naira.
All right, guys, are you listening to that?
Yeah,
are you listening to that? You don't have to be a billionaire to start a software business. All right, because that's the impression I got for early. Even though I could even afford all this $10,000, $20,000, I was still thinking I would need like $500,000 before I can get into the business until I learned about JVZoo. And it said that even if you don't have money, you partner with a developer. There are also young developers out there looking to make a name. They have talent. They just need somebody to partner with. So you may not even need to spend your money. And that, again, is why I'm doing this coaching program on software development. If you are interested in that, feel free to contact me and book an appointment and we can talk about this. It is possible. There are many options. There are many. I just mentioned just a couple of them right now. If I were to tell him to start listing so many options for you, you'll be surprised. They're out there. You don't need, so don't get depressed if that's an area that interested you. Find out how does it work. Contact MISAN. You're going to get his information at the bottom of this video. When we are done with this live call, I'm going to put his information there. Feel free to contact him. I'm sure he probably has it. Do you have a training program? Do you have students? Do you train anybody?
Well, currently I'm working on a coaching program I call the Partner with MISAN MORRISON coaching program. Wow. Actually, that is what I've been working on this month. And the problem is a lot of people try to come into the market. They don't. The other problem is after you've gotten your software ready, there's always a problem of who's going to help you launch your software.
Yes, of course.
So actually, that's what I'm working on currently. So for those who have a software idea, I could help you,
It froze up, but what it's explaining before it comes back on is that there are ways and there are ways, and that is why I also set up this coaching program. You can actually partner with him, like he's saying, also in terms of creating and launching your own software, if that is what interests you. There are ways and there are ways. You don't necessarily have to have the education yourself. You don't have to.
Many Nigerians have partnered with me and they've done 6 figures from their launches as well.
Okay. Yeah, you cut off for a little bit. So I don't know if it's my own internet. I didn't hear you for the last 2 sentences. Maybe you want to repeat it for us.
Okay. Oh, sorry. Okay. What I was saying is I have helped a lot of young Nigerians. I've partnered with a lot of young Nigerians, a couple of them, and helped them to launch their software and helped them to make their first 6 figures by partnering with them. So yes. I take my time to, create a hook because we are marketers. So it's all about the selling point, how to make your software stand out in the marketplace. So I always work with my partners and ensure that I make your software a blockbuster.
Awesome. Awesome. Yeah, guys are going to get information about MISAN at the end of this. We're going to have this information on screen so you can check it out, check him out, check out his program. There's a lot of young Nigerians or young Africans who are just out there waiting to launch out, who don't even know that this opportunity is out there. And that's why I even started that coaching program for software also. There's so many options out there. Now you've been there, done that. You've risen through the ranks. You've had your good days and bad days, and you've seen people come in, succeed. You've seen people come in and fail. So what will you consider to be your number one, number two, and number three point of failure for people who are trying to make it in digital marketing, especially even in the area of software? Go.
Okay. Number one point of failure, like I always tell people, is trying to just go out there to copy what is already in the market. A lot of young Nigerians come to me with softwares that is exact replicas of what already has been done in the marketplace. Before you start creating your software, a lot has to go into research. You have to go into creating something unique. A lot of people don't develop their software with a unique selling point in mind. You have to think of the marketing first before you develop. So that's the point where a lot of people fail. So a lot of people have spent quite a lot of money to replicate another software that is already in the market. And when they bring these softwares to JV partners in the industries, these softwares are already there in the market, and JVs will simply tell you there's something else in the market and there's no unique selling point. So I've seen a lot of Nigerians and a lot of young people with softwares invested a lot of money just by copying what is already there, and no one is ready to launch the product for them. So that's actually a major point of failure for a couple of people looking to break into the market. So another point of failure, I think, well, it might not relate to software, but a lot of people try to, go as a Nigerian or whatever. If you're coming into the digital marketing space without authority, a lot of people try to create a video course. That was my personally point of failure. Like I was doing Facebook and CPA, so I tried to create a product, then a video training about my experience, how I was doing, and this product launch completely flopped. This was when I first of all met with Precious, who now helped me to turn my idea into a software. So I would always suggest, if you are looking at breaking into the digital marketing space, and you do not have an authority yet, try to create a software first. It's going to give you that instant authority faster than creating a video course or an ebook.
Interesting. So basically, guys, you see from different gurus, different perspectives, and MISAN's perspective about the three points of failure, particularly those trying to get into digital software business. Number one, you have to think marketing before you create a software. There's nothing truer than that. I've experienced it. Because a software looks good to you does not necessarily mean you are going to be able to sell it. You don't know what is out there. You have to do research to be sure you're not just bringing a clone that is already overflowed in the marketplace. You have to think, how am I going to sell this before you guys spending money on creating it? That is so powerful. And one of my coaches used to say that you don't try to feed a market that is already overfed. You want to look for a hungry market, and you do that by research, looking for what they want. Number two is a lack of originality, which is part of what we have discussed. And then they talk about authority. You that nobody knows yet. You are coming out there, you say you want to sell a course on a video course on on stuff.
So on another topic,
yes, and you don't have proven results.
And the authority.
The authority to show. You are very, very correct. I also went into that a little bit when I started, because even though I had a lot of prominence in law and other businesses and entertainment, I really had no experience in digital business. So when I try to come in with an authority in digital business, nobody is buying that from me. That, who's this guy? He's just a lawyer. What are you talking about? But when I got my first successes under my belt, then it became easy for me to be able to sell any course I want. So when I realized early, by the way, when I started saying, okay, there nobody, and I decided that, okay, instead of me calling myself an authority, let me make fun of myself and talk about my own problem. While I will not tell them I've made it, I will say I'm still struggling, but this is what I'm learning. And that's why I created Confessions of a Guru Wannabe. All right. And that ended up actually becoming my best product in terms of books, in terms of sales till today. Wow. Literally close to $500,000 on that book. But that book is not me saying I'm an authority. I'm saying, me, I don't know. I try to survive in this business. Here is all the problems I dealt with. I'm not just making it. At that point, I just started out. I've made some little money at that point. I can then say, oh, I found the formula to succeed. And now I'm using it. So very, very powerful, powerful, powerful things for you guys to bear in mind. Authority is very important. And if you don't have one, you borrow from one, which is what MISAN did. He borrowed from Precious. See, Precious is a legendary name in the digital marketing space for Nigeria. As a young man himself, probably just barely in his early 30s, I'm suspecting, if it's even that. I know that Precious started at 18 or 19. But by the time he met Precious, how old is Precious now, by the way? How do you know?
I know it's probably below 30, but I'm not sure.
Yes, I know it's under 30 because I knew when it was 22, 23. And that was like 7 years ago. He's a legend. Don't worry about his age, guys. When you got Precious Ungu, even me, this is how I would do if I see him. All right. So Precious took him on, and Precious helped him to turn his idea into a software. And of course, the launch will have all the full backing of Precious in there. Nobody needs to know him. Same way with me. When I was launching my first Mobimatic, with one of my proteges who became a partner, Ifyo, we launched it together. We didn't have any authority, but we used the authority of somebody who is well known out there. That's one of the secrets of success, by the way, for those of you. So don't despair. Don't tell yourself, oh, I'm somewhere here in Kano or Lagos or Abuja. Nobody knows me. They don't need to know you. If you get the people with the right authority, they will take you in, rather than you try to claim your authority when you have none. All right, moving on that really encouraging intake there. All right, now, for digital marketing, especially the software niche, from you now, from where you are standing, having been there, done that, what would you say are the main ingredients for someone to have success in the software niche or in digital marketing generally, from your own point of view?
Wow. To have success in the digital marketing niche, the first thing I would say first is you need to leverage on someone. You need to leverage on an already established authority in the space. I strongly believe that every successful internet millionaire in the digital marketing space currently started off by partnering with someone with an authority, like you mentioned. You need to leverage on the authority of someone else. There is no just two ways about it. You cannot just come into the market without knowing anybody and you expect the entire market to listen to you and what you have to say. Even if you have created the best software in the world, no one will just listen to you and pay attention to you. Like when I came into the market, even if I had created my software, Precious still tried to introduce me to a lot of other top marketers in the market. I wouldn't be where I am today if I hadn't leveraged on the authority of Precious to introduce me to the market. So the starting point for success in the digital marketing space is you need to find someone that you can piggyback on their success and leverage the authority to break into the market.
What else? There's more now.
What else again? Once you go into the market, first of all, it's more like, I think making the money is the easy part. Sustaining success is another part of the journey. So sustaining success in the market is also, because I've seen a lot of people come into the market and leave, without much profit at the end of the day. So once you're able to break into the market, you need some certain skills and habits, I would say. So one of those skills, the number one skill I would say is copywriting. You need a very good copywriting skill, because everything that revolves around digital marketing revolves around copy. You need sales copy for literally everything, for your emails, for your content, your social media content, for your websites. You need content. So that should be your number one skill. Okay. The next thing is consistency. You need to be consistent with the market. You need to be creative, because the market is evolving fast. It changes fast. What used to work just 2 months ago will not work again. So you need to constantly evolve with the market. The work we used to do 5 years ago no longer works again. So you could work hard on something and you continue working hard and you find out that it's no longer working. It's not as if you're not working. You just have to constantly innovate and be creative. And apart from that, just consistency, working hard, you'll keep growing. And you have to grow to a point whereby you have to build a system. Okay, I think that's one of the points of maintaining success. You have to build, because you can't do the work alone. You have to have a system that can run without you. So that is my 3 key success points I would have to share today.
All right, thank you so much. I asked that question of all my guests, and they all come at it from different perspectives. But one or two things always resonate. For instance, consistency. Everybody's mentioned that. That should tell those of you watching from home that without consistency, you're not going anywhere, because everybody has been harping up on that, and they don't know what each other is going to come and say here. All right, so you got to get that. Number 2, it talked about leverage. Most of the other guests I've had in this series, they've also said the same thing. You can't go it alone. No matter how good you are in your niche, where you're coming from. I was a top-level lawyer. I represent governors in Nigeria as a lawyer. I've been a lawyer in the US for 27 years. But that doesn't mean I'm going to break into the internet marketing space with leverage. I have to still go leverage somebody. Paid a lot of money to a couple of guys to introduce me to the market, because the guys out there, they don't know me. I could be awesome anywhere I want. They don't know me in that space. So somebody has to introduce you. That is why internship is good. That is why you sign up for coaching programs from those who have been there, done that. That is why you try to get into people like MISAN, for instance, if you are into software business, because them taking you on, to you, you may look like, oh, they're taking a big part of my money. Don't even think about it that way. What they are thinking that somebody is introducing you to the market. Once you are introduced, you can make all the money you want. A lot of Nigerians don't seem to get that. They are still doing the individual thing, thinking that they can go. But trust me, I couldn't do it. And I'm pretty awesome. I could not do it. I had to get somebody. And then when I was introduced, now they know me. Now I can fly in my strength. Thank you so much for sharing that. That is also a common trend. This copywriting skills, first time somebody mentioned that, and it's so big. You can't say you're a digital marketer when you can't write. You have to learn it, because everything you do, you are going to be doing copy.
Yeah.
And if you don't have money to hire a full-time one, you better go learn. And luckily, there's so many tools out there now for you to be able to learn copywriting skills. Okay. So if you're out there listening to this, you are hearing from a man who's been there, done that. And he's saying copywriting skills is not negotiable. The good thing about it is anybody can learn it. There's softwares that will write it for you. All you just do is correct some. Like me, I use software. I can't write like MISAN. I think I know something. And then you mentioned build a system. System is key. Without a system, you're just going to work yourself to death. System that can work. Thank you so much for sharing that. Now let's bring a little bit of fun into this. All of us, when we start, we always have one or two or even 3, like me, embarrassing moments where you think back and say, whoa, you want to cover your face and say, did I just do that? So what would you consider your most embarrassing moment in digital business that you are going to look back now and say, wow, that was embarrassing? Share with us. Talk to Daddy. Oh yeah, I'm listening. Yes.
Wow, embarrassing moments. Well, I think the most embarrassing moments in digital marketing is experiencing failure. You know, sometimes
I'm talking about
as a
you.
newbie,
No,
personally.
not theory. What is your
Okay,
own personal embarrassing moment?
okay,
They want to learn from
okay,
their
okay,
experience. And
okay,
what did you
okay. I
learn from
think
it?
my most embarrassing moment was when you have to break through from partnering with others, and you now have an authority in the space. So at that point, when I was trying to break through to being a solo vendor, where I was going to ride on my own experience, my own authority to launch my products, I made a lot of silly mistakes. Like sometimes I would launch my products and the PayPal is not working for hours. And affiliates will keep messaging me and telling me, I'm not making sales. I'm not making sales. What is happening? Then I find out that the issue is with PayPal. Then at those at those odd hours, you start having to call PayPal and make calls. And when you finally put all those things right, you start to apologize to affiliates. I'm sorry, they had PayPal issues. So at first, these were some of the embarrassing moments I experienced. When you have a little hiccups with your sales process. It can be embarrassing in front
Are
of
you telling me?
affiliates.
Are you telling me? But my most embarrassing moment is exactly that. I remember when we launched Mobimatic, my very first product in the market, which actually also is actually my most successful to date, because that's the one we did $430,000 in sales.
Yeah.
I've not done that since then. I've done 250, I've done 300, but I've never done 430 again. What happened was that when that product was launched, the next day the product crashed and it wasn't working.
Oh,
We have done over
I can imagine.
200,000. Yeah, the first day we did 100,000. The second day we did 100,000. Meanwhile, product was not working. So everybody's calling me.
Wow.
Now me, I'm calling Ifyok. Ifyok is supposed to be the technical guy. But I call the man every 5 minutes. They are calling and I'm yelling at him. What's going on? You gotta do this. After a while,
That can be embarrassing.
I could not fix the problem. That was the problem. So by the second day, third day, Ifyok and his team tried everything they can't fix the problem. So we have this product going off the shelf because my JV managers were killing it. They got all the top affiliate guys to support the product.
I remember the launch. I supported as well.
Yeah, of course, even though they didn't know me, everybody was supporting because of those guys. So after a while, Ifyok stopped answering phone. So yeah, right. I could not do it. I could not get my
on your own.
And then
you have to just face the embarrassment.
Yes, Todd Gross calling me. Say, Ope, I know Todd Gross, he's never met me, but he's one of the biggest names, as you know. That what's going on. My people are calling me that they bought and the thing is not working. I've never been more embarrassed in my life. In fact, it was so embarrassing, I started crying. I'm talking about like tears coming out of my eyes. I wrote it in my book. I cried for a whole day because I put 300,000 in the bank, and I got to the product. I started thinking, they're going to say 419 Nigerians have come. They've come to set up. It's not working, and then my partner has run away. So it was crazy. So I started crying. My wife was like, "What's going on?" So we all have it. The reason why I always ask that question of all my guests is so that those of you out there, this is more for you. When you come in there, you are going to deal with embarrassment.
There's a lot of hiccups that you're going to face. Everyone has a story to share.
To share with you. Just don't run. What saved me was that I did not run away. It's tempting to just disappear. But luckily, Ifyok and his team had a great we almost anticipated this because somebody told us this thing we're hearing. That when you are doing your first launch, you are likely to run into problem. So what we did that helped us, a week before we launched, we actually got about 20 guys for customer service. We pre-trained them for customer service. So
20.
20 in Port Harcourt. I came there, we trained them to get ready because our JV partner, our JV manager told us that that you need customer service if this thing blows up. They didn't even know that it can fail. They are just saying a lot of people might be calling to try to figure out what's going on. So when the software wasn't working, now everybody's calling, but they got somebody to answer, which is key. They were getting people to answer. So people were forthright with them. This system has crashed. We're trying to work it up. And we were able to, we had less than 10